Welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we will discuss the concept of act of state, how a state will be held liable for its torts committed, whether the state is liable or not, how we will make it liable. Okay, this we will study in the concept of act of state. So, the basic thing which we are focusing on is the torts of state. Now, tort of state means torts committed by the employees of the state, whether the state will be held liable for those torts or not. In this aspect, another related topic is the concept of vicarious liability. Vicarious liability, and it becomes important because we have to discuss the vicarious liability of the state. Vicarious liability in a nutshell means when the master is liable for the acts of his servants or the employer is liable for the acts of his employees. Similarly, there is a concept of vicarious liability of state. Okay, so we will try to answer and find out the solutions whether the state will be liable for the acts of its servants or not. Okay, first of all, we will discuss whether there is act of state under law of tort or not. What is the position in England? What is the position in India? Now, see, if a particular act is done keeping in mind the sovereign power of the state, okay, then that action of the state cannot be questioned by municipal courts. Wade and Phillips, while defining the term act of states, they say that it is an act of executive and it is a policy matter, okay, which is performed during the performance of different functions of the state, okay, different functions and different relations of the state with its subject, okay. This is what we mean by act of state. Hidayatullah J defines act of state in the following words. He says that it is an exercise of power against an alien and it is neither intended nor purporting to be legally founded. Okay, so it is kind of a defense which does not seek to justify the action but questions the very jurisdiction of the court to pronounce upon the legality of justice. What Hidayatullah Justice is trying to say is that when we take the defense that it is the act of the state and you cannot bring a charge in law of tort, we are not justifying the wrongful act of the state. Okay, what this statement is trying to say that yes, we understand that state has committed a wrongful act. Okay, we agree with it. But when we take this defense that it is an act of state or a sovereign act, we do not justify it. Okay, we do not justify it. What we say that you do not have jurisdiction. The municipal courts do not have jurisdiction to try the state for the torts committed. This is what we mean when we really say a particular act is an act of state. This is what Hidayatullah J is trying to say. Okay. Now, how we will, so the concept is clear that as a general rule, act of state will not be coming under the law of torts. Okay. Now, next questions which will come in your mind is what is an act of state or how will you define which particular act is an act of state? Okay. Now, how we will define. First, there are three essential conditions. The first thing is the act should be done by a representative of the state. Okay, so a person A who is doing an act should be representative of the state, should be agent of the state, should be employee of the state. Okay, if he is not these things, then we will not consider him as a representative of the state. Okay, so first thing is the defendant should be the representative of state, agent of state. Okay, he should be representative, he should be agent, he should be employee or servant of the state. Then we will fulfill the first condition, that he is the representative of the state. Second thing is, the act is injurious to some other state or its subject. Okay, so first thing is, there is an act and that act is done by the representative of the state. Second thing is, it is injurious, so it is causing legal injury or damage to another state or to the subject of that particular state. Okay, so a person living in India is a representative of the Indian government, is an, suppose he is an employee in the coal department. Okay, and what he does, he commits a tort. Now he commits a tort with respect to the state of Bangladesh. Now this will cover under this category. Or if he commits a tort with respect to Indian citizen, okay, then this will be covered under subject. Okay, so first thing is, the defendant should be representative of of that particular state which you are suing. Second thing is, he should be done something which is injurious to some other state or to its subject. Third thing is, the act may be previously sanctioned or subsequently ratified by the state. Now, yes, the representative of the state has done that particular act, but whether he has got permission from the state to do that act or not. Okay, suppose A is a police officer. A is a police officer, he is a representative of the state, he performs, but A, what he does, in because of some personal rivalry, he kills X and tells that X is in fake encounter. Okay, now this particular act is not sanctioned, okay, or it will not be ratified by the state, so this will not come under act of state. For act of state, you have to show that particular act was done by the representative of the state. Second thing which you have to show is that that particular act is injurious to some other state or its subject. And third thing which you have to show is that it was previously sanctioned. It was within the scope of that representative to do that act. Okay, if it is outside his work scope, then that will not be covered under this. Okay, moving further. Now, there is a case of Buron versus Denman. Now, what happened in this case, that an action was brought against Captain Denman, who was a British Navy captain. What he did, he released certain slaves, okay, which were owned by the plaintiff on the west coast of Africa. Now, the defendant had no authority to release those slaves, okay. But what happened, that after some time, his act was ratified by the British government. Now, when the act was ratified, subsequently ratification is also possible. When the act was ratified, then this particular act became act of state, and for act of state, no action could lie. Okay, therefore the plaintiff was not able to recover anything. I hope this is clear. So yes, representative of the state. Second, injury to the another state or to the subject of that state. Third thing is, it should be previously ratified or subsequently ratified by the state, that this is my representative and he has done this particular act with my permission. Okay, the subsequent ratification was done in Buron versus Denman. So as a concept of act of state, we can say that act of state or statutory authorities are not covered under law of tort. But in certain cases, when the servants do or the employees of the state do a certain wrongful act, then the state can be made liable. This is the concept of vicarious liability of state. Okay, but before delving into vicarious liability of the state, first we have to look at the concept of vicarious liability, that what really we mean when we say vicariously liable. Okay, so see, as a general rule, if I commit a wrong, I will be liable for it. Okay, so a person is liable for his own wrongful acts. Okay, and you will not be held liable for the acts of another. However, under some vicarious liability cases, a person can be made liable for the act of another person. Okay, so if suppose we make A liable for the B's act, B has done certain wrongful act, now we are making A liable for it. Now what we have to do, we have to show that there is a relationship. There is a relationship between A and B. Okay, and that particular wrongful act which be